Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Swifty. I've had a couple people ask me how to set up macros on the Naga mouse, so I'm going to go ahead and show you that and the N52 Elite Gaming Pad. If you have a macro keyboard, it'll pretty much work all the same. One thing I want to go over when you're creating your macros on a keyboard, pad, or the Naga mouse, one thing you want to do is you want to keybind your keys. Okay, Rift gives you four action bars on the right as well as 4 to 6 in the middle. Use them. You can hit backslash string skills. I only suggest that if you're not going to be moving at all. If your character's not going to move at all, you can go backslash target whatever, backslash do whatever you want, and it'll go ahead and input them like you would manually. The reason I do not suggest to do this if you plan on moving is because if you're using WASD, you're going to enter WASD in your string of your macro, and it's not going to work. Like I said, especially with Riff, all the abilities they give you to have extra bars and how they allow you to set it up. You can set up, your keybind as semicolon, home, insert, your number pad, whatever. You can also do Shift Alt through whatever. I wouldn't suggest using Alt, Shift, or Control in your macro. I would just use single keybinds. It seems to work a lot better. You have a lot less issues with your macro not working. Now, with that being said, if you have to use a Shift, Alt, or Control in your macro, make sure you press Shift, Alt, and Control every time right before. Like, don't press Alt and hold Alt down while doing your macro, because what will happen is if you start moving with WASD, well, Alt is no longer held down, okay, on your keyboard like it normally wouldn't be. You're still going to hit 1, 2, and 3, but you're not going to have the Alt down. So if you have to do it, make sure you press Alt before it every single time. Okay, it'll help give you a lot less headaches. With that said, moving right along, let's go and actually create a macro. We'll go here. We'll go to macro. You're going to hit New. Okay. Now, underneath your macro, it's very simple. All you're going to do is hit record, and we're going to start recording our macro. You're going to notice that on the Naga, it's going to pick up our mouse clicks. Okay, really important. Being able to pick up your mouse clicks, you need to really find out what Takoma's positioning is with using macros, because it could technically be considered an exploit if you use your macro as the Naga to sit there and ghost click something. You can ghost click a node, you can ghost click crafting materials. You're technically, it's gray. You're not cheating because you're not using an actual outside program. Well, like I said, find out what Coma says before you go on and start doing that stuff and get crazy and end up possibly getting in trouble. Anyway, with that being said, creating a macro, all you're going to do is hit record. Okay, we're going to hit record. We're going to find a mob real quick, and then we're just going to hit our buttons like we normally would in game. Okay, using our cooldown times and everything else. Okay, now that the macro's completed, just pull up and hit stop. I gotta get out of here just in case a wolf decides to hit on me when I'm trying to show you guys the macro. Anyway, pull it up now. You see all the button clicks? We got to get rid of all those. We got to get rid of WASD, because if we don't, our character will actually move. Okay, so let's just go ahead and delete those real quick. I'll leave the ones at the very end because it really doesn't matter at the end. For this, if I was making it for myself, I would make sure I got rid of all of them, even the ones at the end, so that way all of a sudden my screen doesn't start flipping out. But for this, just a quick test, we just want to get to the actual macro string. Okay, now you see my delays. That one's 0.9, this one's 0.17, 0.9, 0.18. Say I wanted to change it. Say this delay is too long. Okay, you go in here, you click, you go insert delay. It'll insert a 0.5 second delay. Okay, you can actually change. You see down here at the bottom where your insert default, you can change that to 1 or 50 or 150, whatever the actual global cooldown is. You want to set that to. I think the global cooldown On Rift is 1 second. Okay, now this is what's really cool about Rift. If you press number 1, and number 1 is on global cooldown, and the next string in your macro is going to be number 2, right? Well, in Rift, if you press number 2 before your global cooldown is ready to go, it's still going to press number 2 as long as you don't press nothing else. It will press 2 as the second the global cooldown is off. Why is this important? Because now we can shift a 0.50 second delay or 50 millisecond delay in our macro, so that way it'll press this right before it's ready, but in Rift it's going to go off anyway, so that way we're guaranteed to get the closest possible time that we can to have that skill go off as soon as it can. Okay, now with that being said, I'm going to go up here and delete that. Alright, now all you're going to do is hit apply, go to assign button, we're going to go to button number 5. Okay, you're going to go down here to macro, and all your macros that you've made are going to be saved here. So you click on what macro you want, you click apply, then you just go out here, you find a mob. Alright, now I'm not going to press anything except for my macro button. That's one button press. I'm no longer touching anything else on the keyboard, and it's just going through the string of macros. And yeah, we got, I think, a little bit messed up because um, I got hit. Because I got hit, it knocked one of my cast times out. If it would have been Rift, my second skill would have still went off because I pressed it right before, so it still would have went off in Rift. But anyway, that's the Naga N52 Elite Gaming Pad. Pretty much identical. All you're going to do is open up the macro editor here on the side. Okay, you'll go to New, enter it exactly the same way. I'm just going to click one that I already have set. Okay, now this is for Ion. Ion, we were running anywhere between 100 milliseconds and 200 milliseconds. So if I wanted to change my milliseconds here, same thing. This is where you're going to pick your milliseconds. Okay, if we want 150, you go insert delay. You delete your old one, and then you put the delay that you wanted. So you can go in there and manually change your delays so it'll happen as quick as you want. Then you just come over here and you set it to whatever button you want to set it to. With that being said, I hope it helped you guys. If you need any other help, hit me up on the forums or in game, and I will definitely try to get back to you as soon as I can. Have a good one.